Alright guys, welcome to the first video of this full detailing series that I'm going to be putting out on my channel. This is going to be the intro video, so this is really me talking about my plans and what I'm going to do to the M3 here. And actually, it's going to be really obvious once I put out a video after this, but I just did the full shebang. I did everything already, so this is actually filmed in reverse. I'm filming this last because I wanted to be able to tell you guys exactly what I did, because if I tell you that before I do it and then I change my mind, then obviously that's not very helpful. So it's all done. I'm so beat, but I'm so happy, and it was so worth it. And actually, because of the XPEL, I didn't have to really correct the whole car. I just did the roof and the rear, because if you don't know, my car has XPEL on like 90% of it, all the way back except for the roof and the rear. So this video is going to be very, very detailed on a bunch of the products I use. I put some different ones here that I haven't used before, and kind of my thoughts on those, and that sort of thing. So let's get started. So when I bought the car, as I mentioned, it had XPEL on it, the XPEL Professional or whatever the name is. It was $4,800. The guy did it. He showed me the receipts. It's legit, and it does a really, really good job. But the problem is that I think it's not rubbery, but it kind of doesn't. It definitely doesn't feel like paint if you touch it, and I feel like it doesn't bead the dirt and debris off as well as a protected car. So I kind of had Garden Gloss on it from Adams, and I did a couple other, regular sealants, and I was gonna put Colinite 845 on it, but I just decided, I'm like, you know what, I might as well just get the car, 90–95% as far as the areas that were not protected, because it was corrected before they put it on. Most time, you pretty much have to do it unless you want a car that has swirls all over it and then you put a film on it. So the rest of it's, they did a good job. With the light, you're shining through the XPEL, but they did a good job. So anyways, I decided to do a coating because that seemed like the most logical decision on top of the XPEL. The XPEL sort of limits me, in my opinion, of what I'm willing to put on top. I don't think Colinite's going to bond as well as a coating, and that's just a fact. Coatings are going to bond and be more semi-permanent versus a wax, which will last 6 to 8 months depending on your care for it. So I had never done a coating before. I know that the depth of the coatings isn't as good as wax, but I already have XPEL on it, so that sort of fear was sort of irrelevant at this point. If it was a regular car, I would probably rather have just Colinite on it, because then you can correct it and do whatever you want in between, because with coating, you can't do that. You have to buy pretty much special correction compound to use if you need to sort of flatten it out, or there's high spots or low spots, which now is really great technology, but before you didn't really have a choice. If you got into an accident, you just have to get a new panel and recoat it, so hopefully the rest is damaged. And my battery is already low, Jesus Christ. Okay, good. So anyways, I went with the coating, and then the rest of the car, the trims and plastics, I also bought coating as well. I went through CarPro. I just wanted to make one big order because I wanted Seaquartz UK, which I have right here. Seaquartz UK, a little bit better in colder climates, holds up to colder weather better. So they have that, a regular Seaquartz. There's also Geon and all kinds of other brands, but I ended up just going with Seaquartz UK because there's a lot of information on it, and videos and all kinds of write-ups on it. And I would say make sure you sort of mind the coating, because anything you touch with this will bond. This is normally very inflexible, but these are the ones that I used. I wanted to sort of demonstrate when you're buffing it, wiping off the excess, use a lint-free towel that will be disposed of. Don't use your good high pile microfibers, because those will be garbage. You don't want to wash those with anything else. You don't want to do anything. You have to throw them away. You have to. So anyways, I went with Seaquartz UK. Application was great. There's a couple very, very small areas that I don't know if I just missed, but there's just very, very faint streaks in like maybe 2 or 3 areas, to be honest with you guys. And I guess maybe just the lighting wasn't good enough for me to see, but it's very, very hard to see. You have to be kind of walking around the car and notice it. So I did Seacourts UK. But let me take a step back as far as the prep for the car. The prep for the car is pretty much the same as any other car. I just did a regular strip wash with Chemical Guys, what is it called? Clean Slate and a foam cannon, and then I washed it with Adams wash pad, so I just did a normal wash. And then I actually did CarPro Iron Out Snow Foam, which is iron remover, but it's made for a foam cannon or a foam gun. So my buddy let me borrow his Krenzla, and I just foam cannon the whole thing. I don't know if it makes sense to do Iron Out on the XPEL, but I figured if there was anything, it wasn't going to be there anymore. Plus, like, I don't think this part of the door handle has XPEL. It has it underneath and it has it around, you know, on the door. But I don't think this actually has. So if there was any fallout on there, I wanted to get it. So I just did the whole car. Then I just clayed the car, but I only clayed the paint that was not wrapped. So I did the roof and I did the rear. Those are the only parts of the car that are exposed, normal paint. So Adams clay bar, I love that thing. It's extremely easy to use and it works awesome. Claying, it needed clay for sure. Regarding the paint correction, it wasn't too bad. You know, the previous owner obviously cared about it a lot and didn't drive it a ton, and he had it wrapped, so that's really a big benefit. There's literally no reason for me to not drive this car now, pretty much. So, which, yeah, racking up the miles. So anyways, what did I do? On most of the car, I did Menzerna 2500 medium grade polish with a Meguiar's microfiber cutting pad, 5-inch. It worked extremely well. There was a couple areas on the trunk, like right near the trunk and the spoiler, and in this video series you'll see that I actually ended up using FG 4000, which is heavy cut. And I didn't want to use this on the entire car if I didn't have to. It's the same step, but I just decided to use this in the areas that needed it, that there was a little, some scratches that were deeper. But the rest, like the roof, I was able to kind of use my skill to my advantage and just kind of work the product differently, the medium cut, as opposed to being worried about cutting too much. I mean, I wouldn't burn through the paint or anything. There's no way, unless I totally screwed it up. But you always want to start off more conservative cutting wise if you can, and then work your way up. So when you do a test spot, start on light, medium, or whatever, and then get more aggressive, because this is pretty aggressive. This isn't as aggressive as possible, but this is up there, and I didn't want to use more aggressive stuff, any more aggressive than I needed to. So, and then I did, I have Super Finish, but I didn't use Super Finish on the paint. I used Super Finish polishing the taillights on a finishing pad, and I used it on the trim, the Shadowline trim. I just wanted to give it a little bit of, there's a little bit of those sort of love marks or regular usage of the car on the black Shadowline trim, kind of along the edges, and on the spoiler as well. I didn't want to go crazy with the two-step. I just wanted to give it a little polish. There's still a couple areas you can sort of faintly see that I didn't get 100% of it, but I didn't want to mess with the trim too much, because I feel like it's different, being plastic, and I feel like it scratches so easily. I felt like the risk of ruining it is higher, so I was pretty careful with that. Sort of know your limits. And I sort of skipped this CarPro Essence. This was my second step for the paint. What's nice about this is it has protection in it, and it does have fillers in it. So if there were any areas, just a few, like around the trunk where people put stuff in, you sort of have a grocery bag and it sort of touches the bottom or whatever, this will fill that in if I wasn't able to correct the paint out. But this wasn't really necessary for the fillers. This I really liked because there's a lot of people that talk about using this and then putting a coating over it. It really bonds together well. They have their science down. It seems like their chemicals bonding the coating on top of this. So that's why I used this. It's really cool. I really like that product. So after I did that, and in between, this is probably one of my favorite products I've ever bought. It's CarPro Eraser. You can use this instead of isopropyl alcohol. You can use this as a window cleaner. You can use this as, it's an oil remover. But what's nice is that it soaks up the oils, as opposed to IPA that doesn't soak it up. It just strips it and then you sort of wiping it around. So it sort of depends, and it smells good too. That's really nice. But I use that in between each panel. If you wait till the end and then do CarPro Eraser, the polish or correction dust tends to bond to the paint like in the cracks quicker, and it's harder to get off. So definitely go panel by panel. When you're done, use this stuff and give it a final wipe down. That it keeps it way cleaner. And the Manzurna stuff does not dust a lot. Even if you do the full pad prime, like Kevin Brown method, it's fine. It's perfect. So that was a really good process. And I did a couple extra steps. Normally I just use CarPro Pearl on the trim and stuff, but I decided to get CarPro Deluxe while I was in CarPro's website. Semi-permanent coating for rubbers and plastic and wheels. I did not do my wheels because I anticipate them getting refinished, or at least a few of them refinished, because when I bought it there's some nasty curb rash on a couple of them. So I haven't really decided time frame wise what I'm doing with the wheels as far as getting them fixed, but yeah, so I'm waiting on that to do. So I did CarPro Hydro 2. Man, I used like all CarPro products this time. I made a huge order on the wheels, and then CarPro Pearl on the tires, which is actually not on it right now. So if they don't really look like there's much on them because there's nothing on them. I did really the last thing that I did on the car was CarPro Forte, which is CarPro's best and longest lasting windshield coating. Lasts over a year. I believe it's 1 to 2, if not more, and it's supposed to be very excellent. So that's why the windshield wipers are up right now, is because it's still on there and they're not supposed to touch the windshield for 24 hours or get wet. So this car's gonna be sitting in the garage for a little bit. So that wraps up everything that I did and everything that you guys are going to be able to look forward to applying a coating and going through the application of the coating. I was kind of nervous along the edges where the XPEL stops, because the panels weren't removed when they got this XPEL. So it looks like the XPEL was printed out or whatever, cut out for this. I don't think that they hand cut it, because if they did, they would have taken the panel off and it would be wrapped around. And it's not fully wrapped around on every panel, which is a more inexpensive way of installing it, but that would have been like $8 grand. So I don't think most people just do regular XPEL. If they do a wrap or something, you take the panels off if you want it to look like you want it to not be obvious it's a wrap, and see the creases and stuff. But yeah. So, please put your comments below if I missed anything. I think I hit all of the big things of what you guys are going to be able to look forward to in the next coming videos. So if you comment on this video of something that you want to make sure that I say or put in the description, then I'll be able to see that before I actually publish the videos which I already filmed. So what I can do is see those and then put in the description, and then the follow-up videos, which I have not filmed yet. I haven't even pulled the car out of the garage one time yet, so this car's been sitting here for a few days. Yeah, so make sure and hit me up on Instagram. Usually when I do stuff like this, I do the stories and stuff like that, so you guys can kind of see sort of live in the works of what I'm doing, and it's so relieving that even just this is just extremely nice, the paint here. So I'm so happy with it. I can't wait to see how well it holds up. I have a bunch of long drives planned with groups of guys that I know, so I can't wait to take the car out. I mean, I've been driving, you guys know, I've been driving this car like a freaking madman, and there's a reason for that. So now I have even less reason to not drive it, and that's it. So welcome to the first video of the video series. The next one is going to be the prep. So all the prep, and I get to use a Krenzel 1122 TST for the first time. I borrowed it from my friend, so look forward to that. And foam cannoning the car, doing all that great. That's probably one of the more fun things about detailing is the foam cannon. So yeah, anyways, comment below, like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.